You came to Darüşşafaka during mid-season and you took a bold step and decided that with the way the EuroLeague season was turning out, it was a chance to improve local talent. What made you take this decision outside, of course, the results?
There are a couple of reasons, in fact. All the clubs I coached before, I'm also known to give chances for young domestic talents, because this is the first thing I believe, the responsibility of the domestic coaches to add some more value to their domestic leagues. That's for all the countries, up to my opinion, like that, and I feel that responsibility. And I also believe in young people a lot, their energy, that they're hungry for their target, for their future, is a great tool to use on the court. Of course, that brings a lot of mistakes too, but especially this year, since we didn't have a chance to qualify to the playoffs of the EuroLeague, to give that valuable experience to our young players could be a very good base to build the next year's team. This is how I take the decision, and so far I'm really glad to do that, because day by day we got a lot of positive effort from our youngsters.
And you got some big wins on the way. Do you think that this is a direct result of the decision to put some more responsibilities on younger players?
Maybe that can be part of it. Their support is very valuable, but with their support and that they cover this responsibility, help us to adjust and to build a better team chemistry. Their teammates which have more experience and they played more stronger roles in the team, now they have trust on these young guys, and they also give their hands them to be helpful on the court, off the court. This really helps to the team chemistry, which is, I believe, very important for the team to be successful.
For many years you worked in Banvit, you were then Fakir Chance in Sakarya, and do you think that at this point the circle is turning again in the Turkish league and Turkish basketball, because we feel that now the country and the sport in general has the know-how after a flurry of transformations in the league. At some point the Turkish league was flirting with the top of Europe, and now you have to adapt and be smarter.
That's for sure. The important thing is to understand this all goes parallel to the economical situation of the country and Europe generally, because it's not only the competition among the European countries and the clubs, also Asia is involved. After China, Korea, Philippines, they spend a lot of money for short terms, even Iran, giving good contracts to the players. Plus the new rules for the G League and two-way contracts and stuff made it really hard to get good quality players you want sometimes, and you got to be really smart. And if you think only about that season you're in, you cannot succeed anymore. For sure, you got to have a plan for the second season, for the third season, which was normally not the primary case for European countries. Yes, there are some countries they can make longer plans, but I know in Greece that's not the case. I know in Turkey that's not the case. Now our kind of Mediterranean countries have to count that on more, because Italy is a very good example. Was one high-level league with really high budget teams. They also got a lot of achievements. They affect their national team with that. Now with the economical situation, it goes down and down. But if they produce players, if they can handle the finance discipline, they'll be okay, because they have the culture. We gotta adjust to that too. We gotta do the same. To be the high quality league or one of the high quality leagues in Europe, that is not happening only with budgets. That's rules, culture, fans, future, that's all together. That's how I count it. We have a lot of way to go.
Do you think that Turkey now has the know-how and the culture?
Culture is definitely improving. And it improves in two ways. Once among the teams with the fans, also with the national team. I think this last generation, the national team made great impact, and the basketball community is getting bigger and bigger. Of course, it's not like if you check percentage-wise. For example, how many people are living in Lithuania and how many know basketball or live with basketball. Same like for Slovenia. With this percentage, we're behind. But if we compare it with our past, we're getting bigger. We're getting better.
And for many years we have seen the junior Turkish national teams turning heads around Europe and winning big. Do you think that this is now the time that this will also translate to the senior level, not only on the national team, but also on the club level? Because we have seen many young talented players trying to emerge as stars.
I mean, national team wise, I think it's going to translate somehow. We have expectations from this World Cup. Then we want to qualify to the Olympics, for the European Championship for the next one. We want to be on the podium. But I don't think it's enough that the success of the youth national teams translate to the club level. Because this year we had 5 foreign players for each team, but many European teams add more to play in European competition. The year before it was 6, and there were really few organizations which were supporting young players try to make their adaptation from the junior level to the senior level easy. So the kids struggled a lot. I work with a lot of players. I give them chances no matter what. Because I don't think I need to prove something in that manner. And as I said at the beginning, I feel that responsibility. If there's a talent like that, you cannot ignore it. If you ignore it and win games with foreign players or with older players, that's a different story. That's a decision made by the club. But if the decision comes on me, if I need to make the decision, if there's a talent's got to play. And young players are like 19, 20. It's not like 23 years old young player, not 24 years old young player. You see, you have to have something put on the court already if you're 24 years old.
And what can we expect from the future of Darüşşafaka and the future also of the Turkish league? Because there were financial struggles, but things seem to be stabilized a little bit.
Right. Darüşşafaka have been always a stable team because they're really strict with the responsibilities they got to the players, to the coaches, or to the financial components. Of course, this 5 years under the sponsorship of Doğuş was something special and something really high level. That paid off with the Eurocup championship last year, which was great because Darüşşafaka is a school which is
an orphanage.
Yeah, founded in middle 19th century,
yes.
And the club is founded in 1914, which is the club is older than 100 years. And obviously we have also great basketball tradition here among the club. But Darüşşafaka is always known to produce talent, first of all. Second one, to pick up players who are not at their top and play and succeed with them and to support them to the next level. First of all, this was the identity before that high-level sponsorship. With sponsor or without sponsor, we'll go back to this again. We'll play with the young guys. We'll pull players, also foreign players, which are not at their prime. We'll help them to reach their prime. And even though we'll be competitive in the Turkish league, our target will be always in the playing for the top 5. And this is going to be the first thing among domestic league. About European Cup, I can't tell nothing right now because we don't know where we're going to participate. But hopefully we'll do better than this year. To get advantage to play with the youngsters here in the EuroLeague will pay off next season in any competition we take part.
And what do you expect about the future of Turkish coaches in general? For many years, Roman Kunter had made a name for himself in France. Ahmed Saki tried his abilities in Berlin, and Ergin Ataman also coached for many years in Italy. Do you think that, speaking about the know-how and the culture now, the Turkish coaching community is getting the respect that it deserves, especially outside Turkey?
I think there are two parts we have to evaluate. The first one, as you said, in Turkey, now with the new rules of the Coaches Association and Turkish Federation, it's been harder for foreign coaches to get jobs in Turkey. Only if they have a sportive achievement, they're able to do it. That's of course a chance for the Turkish coaches. But up to my opinion, it's not enough. I'm not a young coach anymore, and whatever I saw, if you don't have the ambition and if you don't formate yourself to somebody who can adjust any level, any type, any competition, you cannot be candidate nowhere. Not inside Turkey, not outside Turkey. And when our generation were younger coaches, the ones before us never dreamed about coaching outside of the Turkey. So with Ataman, with Mahmoudi, with Kunter, which are a little older than us, they started it. Then there was a coaching generation which are really domestically strong, but their way of life, their personal attitude was not allowing them to live outside of the Turkey.
They were not opening up.
Yes, and they didn't also get the support business-wise. So there has been a big gap between back that time, Ergin Siena or Erman's time or Oktay's Italy time in Benetton, etc., till now. A couple of coaches tried with the national teams. I worked 3 years for Chinese national team as assistant coach from 2010 till 2012. But club-wise, I didn't work outside. This is one of my biggest targets I always chase. When I was a younger coach, I was telling my friends and people who are asking what's your target, I was always saying I want to coach a Euroleague team which is not a Turkish club. So I will chase that dream. I'm always a student of the game. Great love of basketball never stops, so I'll be on it.